I want to tell you a story about something that happened a few years ago and is often linked to evidence of glitches in the matrix, in the simulation, and is relating to people that potentially look like you or even act like you or both. Now, the funny thing is, normally when you get people that say, oh, you remind me of somebody or you look like somebody, and then they show you the person and then you think to yourself, I look nothing like them. Obviously they see something in that person that maybe you can't see, but the reason why this is important about people looking like you is if you're going to create a simulation, so any game, for example, that is simulating people, so let's say something like Grand Theft Auto, where you seemingly have all these people kind of running around in the game itself. There's only so many instances of those people that they can create. They can't have, if you're simulating an entire city, you couldn't create 10 million people, 10 million individual people within that particular city. It would just be too much for the computer control. So instead, what typically happens is they will create certain characters, maybe 100 or 200 different individual characters, and then maybe they'll kind of vary them by putting different clothes and different kind of attributes and stuff like that. But ultimately, it's duplications coming from a particular mold. So this is why it's strongly linked to evidence of glitches in the matrix, because if you get people that look very similar to you, then is there potential to say that, we've just been duplicated in the same way that software programs can be duplicated, for example. So what happened was, it was in the late 90s and I was teaching at a bank in a place called Milton Keynes. I was teaching on site there, and it was a 2-day course, and I remember this guy walked in. He was about my age at the time. I think I was in my probably mid-20s, and the first thing I noticed was he was wearing this purple shirt, which is exactly the same as one that I owned. And this is the late 90s, when things like bright red or purple shirts were actually acceptable. But not only that, but he just looked very similar to me. He walked the same sort of way. And throughout the 2 days, it was really apparent to me that he sounded like me. He made the same kind of jokes as me, his mannerisms, everything. And I thought, God, that is so weird, because it's very unusual for someone to look at someone and think that they look like them, rather than other people saying that you look like them, if that makes sense. Now, I thought, I was really tempted to say something to him, but I thought it's going to be really weird saying to someone, you look like me. I just thought it'd be a bit of a weird thing to say. So I didn't really say anything at the time. And then I remember at the end of the second day, he was the last one in the class. I think everyone else had already gone, and he was kind of packing up his stuff in his bag and whatnot. And I don't know, I think I just went up to him and just sort of making small talk, saying, have you got a long way to go back and all this kind of stuff. And he was just saying where it was, I can't remember now. But and then he said, by the way, he said, have you noticed anything a bit strange about us, or anything, anything odd? And I thought, well, he's come this far by putting it out there. And I thought, well, he must be talking about the same thing as what I'm thinking about. So I said, is it the fact that we kind of look similar and like acting similar? And he's like, yeah. He said I wasn't sure whether to say anything because I thought it would be a bit strange. And I said, well, I was exactly the same. I noticed like on the first day that we seem very similar, not just in the way that we look, same height as well, everything, same colour hair. But I said to him, I didn't want to say anything because I thought you would think I was a bit weird or something like that. So, and I remember a few years later as well, I actually saw somebody driving a car, which was the same car as what I was driving at the time, which was my mum's Mini. I'd only just passed my test. And this person went past in this car, and it was really weird because he looked so similar to me. The fact that he was driving my car, it was almost like a weird, like out of body experience, like looking at looking at myself driving around in this car. So that was also pretty odd. So I would love to hear your opinion. Do you think this is evidence that we are living in a simulation? You know, is that a kind of a glitch in the system? Have you had any experiences like that? Have you met anybody, or has anybody sent you pictures of people that they think look like you, and you actually look at them and think, crikey, yeah, they do look like me? Or maybe somebody just acts very similar to you. That also could be a glitch. So please give me a like if you found this interesting or you got anything out of it, and subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean a lot to me, and I will look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care.